Today, I want to talk about why kids struggle to pay attention and what's actually going on in the brain when that happens. If that sounds interesting, please stay tuned. So, if you've ever found yourself saying focus or pay attention to your students or your own children over and over again, and it's just not working, there's a reason for that. Once you understand it, things get a lot easier. Most kids aren't struggling to pay attention. Instead, they're struggling to get into a state where attention is even possible. And if we don't understand that, we end up asking for something that the brain literally can't do that. Yet, think about how often we say, pay attention, focus, eyes on me. We say it all day long. And sometimes it works, but a lot of the time, most of the time, it doesn't. And when it doesn't, we assume something about the child, that they're not trying, that they're distracted, that they're choosing not to engage. But what if that's not actually the problem? Hi, I'm Becky, founder and director of Music is Academic, and I work with teachers, schools, families, and other organizations to turn brain science into simple, practical tools using rhythm and music to support focus, behavior, and learning. Here's the shift that changes everything. Attention is not a behavior. Let me say that one more time. Attention is not a behavior. It's a state of the brain. And that state depends on a few things being in place first. The first thing is regulation. The second is organization. And the third is predictability. If those aren't there, attention is going to be inconsistent. It's going to be fragile, or it's going to be completely unavailable. I saw this really clearly in a classroom I was working in recently. The teacher was doing everything right. She had a great lesson planned. She was calm, she was clear, but the kids had just come in from recess, and the room felt scattered. Kids were talking, kids were moving, kids were dropping things, calling out, just that kind of restless energy where nothing is quite landing. So she did what we all do. She said, okay, eyes on me, let's get started. A few of the kids looked up, but most didn't. And you could feel the frustration building, not because she wasn't doing a good job, excuse me, but because the timing was off. The brain wasn't ready. So instead of repeating directions, we paused and we did this. I'm snapping twice, then clapping once. Follow along, please. That's it, for about 20 to 30 seconds. And you could literally feel the room shift. The movement slowed, the noise dropped, the kids started syncing together. And then she gave the directions again. And this time they landed. Same teacher, same lesson, same directions, same kids, different state of the brain. A dysregulated brain doesn't focus. It searches, it scans, it reacts. So if pushing for attention doesn't work, what does? We have to organize the brain first. And one of the fastest ways to do that is rhythm. Let's try that again together. If you did that with me or still have the rhythm going through your brain just synced to a predictable pattern. It started anticipating what was coming next. It reduced randomness. That process is called entrainment. When the brain locks into a steady pattern like that, it becomes more organized. It becomes more stable, and it becomes more ready to focus. So instead of saying, pay attention, we can actually build attention. Let me show you the difference. Try this. That's a lot harder to follow, isn't it? There's no predictability. Now let's switch back to our old friend. That feels easier, doesn't it? That's what the brain is responding to. This works in so many situations. In school, it works before a lesson, during a transition, after a recess, at home, before bedtime, before dinner time, before getting shoes on to go out to the store. You're not managing behavior, you are organizing the brain. And you don't have to be musical to do this. This is not about singing. It's not about instruments. It's about timing. You can clap. You can snap. You can pat your hands on your lap. That's enough. So the next time a child isn't paying attention, instead of asking, "How do I get them to focus?" try asking, "What does their brain need right now to get organized?" And often the answer is something very simple: a steady beat, a predictable pattern, a moment to synchronize. Because attention isn't something we demand, it's something we build. So please let me know if any of these ideas were helpful to you in the comments. And of course, I would love to have you like and subscribe to the channel. Please take care, stay safe, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.